Coming up this week on the OK Bloomer podcast.
I said that this is the Phoebe and Chandler pairing of the show. There's a joke on Community about that Abed makes like a fourth wall joke about like the pairing of Phoebe and Chandler was like so rare on the show, and like this is definitely the Phoebe and Chandler pairing. Six and Tony are going on an adventure together.
Don't know about the future. Don't.
They don't care about the future, because they live it in the past. Sal and Curtis are taking all 5 seasons of Blossom to task. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be weak in the knees. This show's got more range than this on the keys. Only gal in the house, and that's how she goes. One brother was a junkie, and the other one was. Weekly lessons coming fast in the Russo flat. Blossom's teenage girl problems are as big as her hat. So take your opinionations and make them shine. It's the OK Bloomer podcast, and it's about damn time.
Don't know. Don't know.
It's the OK Bloomer podcast. We are back with a regular episode of Blossom. We will be deep diving this week after last week's, Tour de Force, our Christmas show. 2 hours.
It was a marathon, man.
2 hours deep diving the actor and actresses that bring us this amazing 90s sitcom. That was a lot of fun. No idea about the guy that played Buzz. You should go back and watch that right now, dear viewers, if you have not. That may have been the best episode we've done. That was fantastic. Thoughts? Anyone?
It was a commitment.
Phenom,
sure,
Curtis Anderson, Sal Accardo, Phenom on the ones and twos.
I'm back in the booth.
I'm all out of order, all out of sync. I'm no longer in sync. I'm out of sync, but we'll get the train back on the tracks. It's the OK Bloomer podcast. We are burning through season 3. We have gone over the hill. Season 4. We have like 30 episodes left, something like that.
Wow.
We're going
crazy.
We're going. We're just jumping right in. We're going crazy. We're just jumping in head first this week. And my earpiece is not staying in, but you know what? We're doing this. We're gonna go. What's up, Sal?
Keep it going. Not much, man. So Christmas episode. We did something a little different with the Advent calendar, deep diving on all the characters. It was fun. We got to know the cast a little bit more. And,
we got to know Phenom. Phenom joined us on the table here. Crazy.
That was great, man. It was
great
to have him.
It was a good time. I got to research Buzz, and I got to tell you guys about Buzz's career.
That stole the show.
I think
Buzz was the best one by a mile. Yeah.
Agreed.
I forgot how to do the show regularly now, as you can see. I'm just like falling all over the place. But it is the
so
OK
lonely
Bloomer.
at that table.
It is the OK. Yeah, I don't have my co-host. Just Sal. I don't have my in-studio co-host. I have my remote co-host. Yeah. It's the OK Bloomer podcast, starring Curtis and Sal with Phenom on the ones and twos in the booth. I'm going to leave that whole first part in, but that's like, where we start again. This is where we deep dive an episode of Blossom each and every week, and we try to see what the Russo family can teach us about what it was like living in the early 90s. And I'm looking at all these characters now through a completely different lens after last week's episode. It's crazy. Like,
it changes your opinions a little bit.
It changes my opinion of everyone. We've spent hours dragging the Ted Was and the guy that plays Anthony, and they're all seem like fantastic people, to be honest. They've all had interesting careers in their own little way.
Michael Stoyanov.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna hit that. I don't know.
We're not.
We are kind of on the down. We've got season 4 and season 5, and that's it. And I feel like season 5 is going to be a completely different show, just from like the stills you see on Disney Plus when you are on pause for too long. That's got to be a still of season 5 where we see new characters that we have not met yet, and it looks like Buzz is gone. And there's a spoiler last week where it showed the length of the Vinny character, and it said it ended in 93, and we only have a few shows left of 93. So we may be coming to the end of Vinny here. And any more thoughts, or should we just jump into it? Let's get this.
No, I think we should hand it over to the Phenom, get us going here on the episode.
This week, we got season 4, episode 6, Kiss and Tell, directed by Bill Bixby, written by Brenda Hampton, first aired on October 4th, 1993, to 21.3 million viewers. Disney Plus says, Six spends the day with Anthony and his partner, played by Phillis Diller. IMDb says, Blossom's mom announces that she is moving back to California to be closer to the family. Blossom becomes confused when she catches her mom and dad in a compromising position. Anthony and Six share an ambulance with a crazy elderly former paramedic. And TVDB says, Nick and Blossom are alarmed when Maddie returns with intentions of staying. Six rides along with Anthony and a cantankerous EMT.
Great word. Great word, cantankerous.
Good job, TVDB.
Yeah.
That was it?
That's it?
I have only heard the word cantankerous aside to one other person in television history, and it was Ed the Sock. He was always described as cantankerous. I always thought that was a great word, and like how no one else has jumped on that word. It was like exclusively Ed the Sock's word for so many years.
Ed the Sock's still going out this way. He is.
Yeah,
he's a radio host.
Crazy. He was at one of the Comic Cons we went to. Him and Red. That's his wife. That girl that was in the show. I think so.
Okay. Oh, I thought you meant like Red Green.
No. He just called her Red. I had
the old man from Red Green is his wife.
Yeah. I found in the when Zellers went out of business, they beautifully, and I will forever be in their debt. They emptied out the warehouse of, I think it was DVDs that maybe they didn't feel comfortable selling while they were open. This is serious because I went to Zellers one day in the last 2 months, and there was this giant bin of backyard wrestling DVDs, some questionable movies, and then they had this best of Ed the Sock, and it was his bits, and then there was legit porn on it. It was the weirdest thing. He went backstage at an adult film industry thing, and it was just naked people he was interviewing, and this was just on the same. He's bragging on Star Wars people, and then you hit next, and you're just like, holy cow, how did this happen? So the backyard wrestling ones were wild, just set up in Walmart parking lots, just a handheld high eight, and they're hitting each other with weed whackers.
Oh my God, some of it is just insane.
Those people are in wheelchairs now. They have to be. I have a pretty high threshold of watching idiots backyard wrestle, and I'm not going to pretend I'm above it. I'm not going to pretend I don't love it, but those were moments of you're going to have spine issues the rest of your life taking those moves.
There was one in particular that took place in a Walmart parking lot, and forgive me for not knowing this wrestler's name anymore, but he got cut open on his wrist. Do you remember that? And then he was able to do the Spider-Man web shooting, but blood was coming out. Do you remember that one?
That's gross. Yeah,
it was pretty disgusting.
This one guy just stopped, put his hands on his knees, and he puked for a solid 10 seconds in the middle of the ring.
Oh my God.
And it's just on this video. It's just, they don't cut anything out. It's the craziest stuff, and that had to have been what it was. Zellers just were and they were $5 each, and I think I spent, I want to say $120 on $5 DVDs that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ed the Sock, cantankerous. Lots of nudity on his best of Ed the Sock DVD, if you can find it. If that's your thing.
Yeah.
If you want to go from him making fun of Bon Jovi fans to the adult, behind the scenes in the adult film awards.
Well, check it out at your local Zellers, which do not exist anymore.
There's a reason.
Nor do DVDs.
There's no cold open, Sal. We're jumping back into Kiss and Tell. There's no cold open. Phenom, I missed this last week. I was going to try to pitch it to Gary, but I thought he might burn the control room down because he was very uncomfortable in there. Even though he did hit the whoa or no. I'll give him credit for that.
Right.
Last week, if you didn't see it, Phenom was on the table with me, and Gary Nickel, the godfather of the Dufferin Avenue Media Network, was working the ones and twos, and we were very nervous because he knows how to work a slider and hit one button. And anything after that, we were worried it would just be the whole block would lose power. So we didn't pitch this, and I think that's the only episode since we brought it to the Dufferin Avenue Media Network that we didn't do this shtick, but here we go. It asks if I want to skip the intro, Phenom, and
I do not.
Still works. Still great. I was trying hard to work it in last week, but it would have been a letdown.
You could have done it. I had faith.
We start with Corel Draw, two dudes with attitudes. This is a fun combo, hey?
Yeah. It's
Joey and Vinny hanging out.
Right. He's mixing it up with the Russos, man. It's I thought it was weird. It really stood out to me. Joey's sitting on the couch with Vinny, bragging about how he's going out with Barbara Jenkins, the minister's daughter. He says, "You know what I hear about the minister's daughter?" And then there's a joke like they're always punctual or something. And then Vinny's like, "No, they're pretty wild." And Joey says, "Whoa!" And we get an applause from the crowd on the whoa.
I noticed that. It's happening. It's happening.
And did you also notice he's wearing that necklace front and center again?
Him and the necklaces, man.
Yeah, but it's the same one. I don't know what that logo is.
Must have been the girl he was seeing at the time gave it to him.
I don't know, man.
He had to wear it.
I think Don Rio was selling these out of his trunk.
Probably.
You want the Joey replica necklace? $5, $10.
It was probably like the symbol of Frankie Valens in the Four Seasons or something that he got all excited about.
True.
There was a good joke here though, where Joey goes, "Guess who I'm going on a date with tonight?" And Vinny says he knows, and Joey says how, and Vinny goes something about he saw Blossom, and Joey goes, "Not Blossom, please. I'm not that desperate to date Blossom." Which I was like, yeah. Take that, Vinny. Even though that's his sister, that was such a good one. I said, let's go season 4, episode 6. Each Vinny right off the 30 seconds in. I said, "Oh man, Joey, you were talking about his necklace. He's dressed like Steven Dorff and me. He's wearing the black shirt and the jeans." I was like, yeah. Let's. I was so happy.
I swear
already.
he was wearing the all black. He was wearing the all black shirt just so that medallion would stand out around his neck.
Then Blossom comes in and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going on a date with the minister's daughter." And Blossom says, "You better watch yourself." And he goes, "I'm tired of watching myself. I'm gonna watch her." And I said, I don't know if that joke was properly workshopped. Didn't really make sense. I don't.
Not really.
They're asking the audience to connect a lot of dots with that one.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of.
Come up with your own punchline.
It was a long walk to the punchline there. Tony comes in looking for 6, and then she comes in dressed like a nurse, and I didn't quite get this. She's shadowing Tony or doing a report about paramedics or something for school. So she dressed like a nurse to blend in, and I said that this is the Phoebe and Chandler pairing of the show. There's a joke on Community about that Abed makes a fourth wall joke about the pairing of Phoebe and Chandler was so rare on the show, and this is definitely the Phoebe and Chandler pairing.
There's a lot of Phoebe and Chandler pairings on this one.
Yeah, but this one really stood out to me. Six and Tony are going on an adventure together.
Yeah, and Vinny and Joey are gonna pirate cable later.
Yeah.
So I said, 6 is gonna be accompanying Anthony on his rounds. Whatever does Ron to Joe think of this?
Yeah, right?
Then they make this weird thing where all the guys start talking about watching porn and the girls make a face.
Didn't catch it.
Yeah, it was the ending joke before we moved on. Because Nick comes in hot.
He sure does.
It's like he comes into Patty's bar and he's just like, "All right, everybody out.
Yeah. He kicks everybody out of the house. He's had a miserable day. He was rehearsing all day with a beauty pageant kid, and he's sick of hearing the song that she was singing. But then it's a hard cut. It's a hard cut out of this. But go ahead if you have any other notes.
It was my second Always Sunny in Philadelphia references in 30 seconds because I was like, he was practicing with Frank's beauties.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best episodes. Oh my God. It might be the funniest thing that show has ever done if I could go on a little Always Sunny in Philly tantrum. When he comes
That's
in.
the one where he gets the mortician to do his makeup.
And he comes into the office and he's like, "We got to write a song about how we don't diddle kids. You don't diddle kids. Diddling kids is bad. I wouldn't touch anyone younger than my daughter." That clip has been circulating the internet with recent world events. I wrote, Nick is on fire today. He's mad as hell. He was practicing with some little beauty contestant, and something happened. And I said, I'm just singing the "We Don't Diddle Kids" song from Always Sunny in Philly. And I said he kicks everyone out of the house with this big production. So I assumed as soon as the front door closed, he was going to go sneak this week's skank through the back door into the kitchen. But that
It's
did
a
not
fair
happen.
thought. I had the same thought. Yeah.
Because then we go from him coming back in dancing like a toddler, and then he starts
Yeah.
hitting himself in the face when who
With
the
a newspaper.
walks in, Sal?
Oh my God. Maddie is standing there at the door. And he says he's as surprised as Pearl Harbor was that she's there.
And now that we know about Buzz being in the army, he probably that's why he's
Right.
boycotting the show.
Yeah.
He's not appearing in the
So,
episodes, so
yeah,
they stop
they-
making fun of wars.
Yeah, so she's talking about how she's thinking about moving back to Los Angeles, and then they start getting in each other's face. They're ripping on each other, and it's just kind of like back and forth. And they're like right up face to face that you're like, is this going to go where I think it's going to go? But the scene cuts out before anything happens. And then I kind of forgot about it from here on out.
They definitely started kissing in that scene, and they cut it because
they
they
cut
wanted
it, yeah.
they wanted the reveal later. That definitely happened. You
Right.
could see that coming a mile away because they were just like ping pong arguing and stepping closer and closer. And you're like, this is a sitcom. This is going to end with them making out. And you could tell they cut it
Right.
right before that part. It was
Right.
one of the most awkward edits I've ever seen in this show. And they cut before they could start kissing. There was a rush edit there. And then suddenly we're in the ambulance. And
Yeah.
Six is videotaping. I thought it was like a body, but then she wakes up. And then I was going to ask, did you ever see the Faces of Death VHS, Sal? Or was that was past your time?
No.
They apparently they're fake, but man, when I was young, you could get it was like before the internet, right?
Yeah.
There were these VHS tapes that were called The Faces of Death, and it was supposed to be just like real footage of like people in accidents and stuff. And we found out later it was all fake, but those were like a thing of
Wow.
lore. Yeah, so that's kind of what it felt
Wow.
like, where she's in an ambulance filming a dead body, but then she wakes up and they start making fun of
Yeah.
Anthony's nose again.
Yeah. Yeah. They start ripping on Anthony's nose, and I put Don Rio's such an ass. And then, so her name's Mrs. Peterson. She's sassy as and her and Tony start arguing, and I was like, uh-oh, watch out. We know what happens when Tony starts arguing with a lady in his ambulance. Six outs Tony to Mrs. Peterson that he's in the AA program, which feels like a huge storyline that was just glossed over very quickly.
Yeah.
And then they get an emergency call and they have to drive away. And then Six, you see like the point of view of the camera, and Six like falls back in the ambulance.
I enjoyed Six eating there. But there is one great moment, though, where after she makes fun of Anthony's nose, they cut to the camera outside of Anthony's window, and the two girls move on, and Six and What's-Her-Face are dialoguing, and poor Anthony has to react about his nose joke for 10 seconds. He just sits there going... And as like the story moves on beside him, I was like, could have zoomed in a little there, guys. He just had to sit there for 10 seconds, touching his nose. Poor guy. But yeah, they get a call. They slam on the gas, and Six rolls back into the ambulance. I thought that was actually really funny because you see it from the perspective of her camera.
Yeah.
We get a Seinfeld delivery of Alcoholics Anonymous. Do you know how Tony said it?
Oh, yeah, that's
He
right,
was totally channeling Seinfeld because he's like, it's supposed to be anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous.
Anonymous. It's Alcoholics Anonymous.
Anonymous. He stole my purse. We cut to Joey, Sal.
Yeah. He's on his date with the farmer's daughter or whatever she is.
Minister's daughter.
Yeah. They're
It's
making
a different
out on the porch.
episode. The farmer's daughter has a different set of rules.
Oh, okay. So they're making out on the porch, and then the light on the porch comes on, and his ring gets stuck in her in the fabric of her shirt, and he can't move his hand, which is like also okay.
Is that embarrassing?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I could easily explain that away.
Yeah, be like I was giving her a hug, and
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Being a gentleman and helping her with her jacket.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's not like So he's like freaking out because his hand is stuck and the light came on, and then the scene cuts away right there.
Yeah.
Very quick cut.
Some intern was cutting this episode
Yeah,
because now we're.
So
Go ahead.
Yeah, Vinny and Blossom coming into the living room with a pile of movies from the video store. Bring me back those clear VHS cassette tapes. Oh my god.
What was it that the ones that open or the ones where you squeeze
Yeah.
and they fall out the bottom? Because I didn't like
No,
those.
it was the ones that I think it was the ones that clicked open.
Yep.
Yeah, so good. Blossom's seen all the movies, and that was Vinny's plan all along, was to spend money to rent movies that they have already had, so that they can, do stuff with each other in the living room. Blossom goes, "What if my dad sees us?" And Vinny says, "Popcorn." And I went, "It's gonna in the popcorn in the living room. What is happening here?"
What?
What, you don't know that old move?
Yeah. Okay, is that what they?
That's what he said.
I didn't track any
What if
of
my
that.
dad sees us and all he says is popcorn? Where else? What else am I supposed to think there?
Yeah, I just ran right into they go into the kitchen.
Yeah,
and they pop up. Maddie and Nick pop up from behind the counter and start dressing. And I mean, like,
yeah,
I don't want to sound like a prude here, but clearly they started making out in the living room of an empty house
yeah,
and chose the kitchen floor.
yeah.
That's
makes no
what.
sense.
That's why I missed the popcorn gross joke, I think.
Yeah, you were too focused on why they ended up in the kitchen when
I was.
the whole house was completely empty. But
They were
sure.
in front of the couch and like they didn't
Yeah.
hear Blossom and Vinny come in, and I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they could have come into a lot worse too if it had gone the other way.
Yeah.
If Vinny had gotten his way with the popcorn.
If Vinny kicked Blossom out of the house and it was just him and the popcorn.
Yeah, so they confront
They
each
cut
other.
to an Orville Redenbacher statue and a single tear is just coming down. Gross.
This
Okay.
was not why I invented this. Yeah, so Vinny finds out that they're banging. He bails immediately.
I
Um,
loved that scene. This is what I'm talking about. I
All
thought actor David Lasher like nailed the
Yeah.
tone of that, because we come
Yeah.
back from commercial break and Blossom is on a rampage and she marches
Yeah.
into the living room with her parents right behind her, and Vinny's like, "Oh, hey Maddie, like what are you doing here in LA?" And Blossom goes, "She's having sex with my father in the kitchen." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Good night." And he just kind of backs out with his popcorn
See you
and
later. Yeah,
his
he's out.
VHS tapes. Sounds like he was making an excuse to get rid of Blossom anyway, and there it was.
Yeah.
I said full marks for that, man. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So the mother says she's thinking about moving back, and then Blossom goes, "And you're teaching her the local customs?" I thought Blossom was being the only voice of reason here. Like her parents were just being nuts and like
Absolutely.
yeah. So Blossom bails because she's like, "I've had enough of this," and then they're back to arguing, and then they start going at it again. Like,
Before that though, Blossom talks about how she feels like she slipped into a parallel universe, and I said this was her first toe dip into science, which she would make her life later, right?
wow, good catch.
And also, as a three-year
catch.
standing there, I noted that Nick is dressed like Willy Wonka, Blossom is dressed like a schoolgirl, and Maddie is dressed like a witch. And nobody's talking about this.
Wow,
They're just going on with their lives.
Is this a Halloween episode or what?
And I said 2025 science major Mayim needs to go back in time and fire the entire wardrobe staff of this show.
Nice.
And okay, I'm just gonna throw this to you because we're back with Joey if we're moving on, and he
Yeah.
has a fever dream of like a rabbi, and I am out of my lane here, Sal. I'm tagging you in. What's happening?
Okay. Well,
go.
yeah. So Joey's back with his ring caught on this girl's shoulder. He prays to God that if God gets him out of this, he will never touch another girl again. And then lightning strikes and the sky opens up. And I put, "It's that funny Italian reverend as God." I was like, what a cameo for the times. And I actually wrote, "When is Mr. T coming?" Like, for real. Do you remember this guy?
I don't. I have no idea who this is.
Okay, well, we'll kind of move ahead, but Don Novello was the comedian, and this character's name was Father Guido Sarducci. And I just like, I don't understand how in the 80s and 90s this guy just had a stranglehold on being in cameos of stuff as this character. He was on Weekend Update a bunch on SNL as this character. I don't think he was ever part of the
Okay.
cast. He was in Casper the Friendly Ghost, the movie. There's like a montage of where like they're trying to get like an exorcist in the house, and then like Dan Aykroyd shows up as a Ghostbuster, and then he comes out of the house and the ghost like turns his head backwards. But yeah, that's like, yeah, his name was Father Guido Sarducci, and he was just this like Italian reverend character.
I am
And
unfamiliar
he was
with
in
him,
everything,
but
including
this
Blossom.
sounds like the exact person they would bring on to Blossom for a cameo like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I was like, this tracks 100%.
Yeah.
This tracks 100%. But yeah, this guy kind of popped up in a lot of things in the 80s and 90s. So yeah. We get a, whoa, it's God. And then Joey asks him like a profound question. He's like, I've heard that from Nietzsche. He's asked me that before. Joey doesn't know who that is. Joey gives Joey another chance to save himself. And instead of making out on the porch, it like cuts back in time and they kind of wrap up the date very wholesomely. And then as Joey's walking away, the sky opens up again and God tells Joey, you could have just asked for her father to be out of town instead. He goes, whoa, no wonder you're God. So
There's a lot there.
yeah, I
There's a
like,
lot
I don't
there.
know why, but in this episode we get 3 woes in the span of like 5 minutes.
It's taken off. They've realized this is the woe. They're going back to this.
Yeah.
I felt like they did this in an episode in season 3. They used woe a bunch, and then they
Yeah.
kind of got away from it. But we are back. It's woe mania here on season 4 of
Oh, for
Blossom.
sure.
You missed
Yeah.
where he starts playing billiards for no reason, and they're doing
Yeah.
trick shots, and it's clearly
Yeah.
not him because they keep
Yeah.
doing close ups of just the hand, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
I don't
Why,
know.
why are we? Why is he doing? Was that a thing? Was he?
I couldn't tell you. I don't
Okay. And for some reason, we have to watch him sink the 6 ball.
know.
6? He legitimately crushed the
okay.
6 ball. I don't know.
All right. Maybe there was
There's
some,
layers.
foreshadowing or
There's
something
layers
there, yeah.
here. And I said the
a
smoke
little
machine
Easter
is
egg.
working overtime. Then there's a Clinton joke. And it's like, it's really weird dialogue between these two. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
suddenly they have like a serious moment where Joey's like, can I have sex with a bunch of beautiful women? And the rabbi goes, that's up to you, Joey.
Yeah.
What? And he's like, and it's like not played for laughs. It's like they're having a serious moment where Joey's like, I never
Yeah.
really thought about it from that angle before. I guess it is up to me. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I also wasn't familiar with the actor, so I didn't know if I was just like missing something. But
It was a weird cameo.
when he
man.
says that to Joey, Joey totally has that like Wizard of Oz moment where he's like, I had the power to go home this whole time. Like he's looking down at his shoes.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I said, this has gone long enough. There's a Superman death joke, and that would have been super topical because that would have been right around the time
Oh, that's
Death
true.
of Superman.
Yeah, that's true.
Did I tell you my Death of Superman story of Tom Grummett here in Saskatoon?
No.
DC comic artist Tom Grummett lives in Saskatoon, and he
Oh, wow.
got he drew a few of the issues of the Death of Superman. Like he was just drawing for DC at the time, and
Yeah.
he drew a few of the comics. And rumor has it, his first royalty check came in the mail,
Yeah.
$500,000.
Oh my god.
Like he had no
Wow.
idea. He had no idea, and he opens up the mailbox, and there's a check for
Yeah.
$500,000.
Good for
That's-
him, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's something.
Yep.
In Saskatoon, eh? No way.
Yeah, he's still here. We were on like a convention together when my book came out. I was at this
Yeah.
like convention, and we were on a panel together. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Cool. Nice.
So 6 hurt her foot, or if we're moving on,
Yeah, she
in-
sprained her ankle or something.
because
And,
she biffed it in the ambulance. And
yeah, Mrs. Peterson's hacking a dart while fixing her sprained ankle there.
as you did,
Yeah.
I wrote through the emergency room, and 6 says, so far, I've been the only accident. And I said, yeah, me too, Jenna Vonoy, me too.
Yeah, so she starts recording again, and then they talk about the night before that they found a severed head on a car windshield. And then Tony, I didn't track any of this. He starts giving some profound speech about how it didn't bother him because all of his friends are dead, and he's reminded about how short life is, and that's like his inspirational speech to end her video presentation that she's going to show her classmates.
Yeah, they steal my movie joke though, because they find the decapitated head on the windshield, and Anthony says, "I asked it if he was the one that made the call." And as you'll know, Sal, anytime we go see a movie and somebody dies horribly, I always yell, "I hope he's all right."
I did not know that about
What?
you.
I've never done. Oh, okay, maybe we never saw horror movies, but anytime somebody
We saw a couple.
anytime somebody dies in a horrific, there's no coming back way, I always go, "I hope he's okay." See, I sound like an telling this story now, but it comes from a good place. I saw Twister in the movie theater, and
Yeah.
at the very beginning where it's so noisy. Are you familiar with Twister? The little girls in the basement.
Yeah.
Little girls in the basement at the beginning, and the Twister's coming over the town, and the dad's trying to hold the like whatever those stupid doors are that you only see in movies. So like the basement.
Yeah. Of like,
And he's like, he's trying to keep him shut so the thing doesn't suck his family out. And he's like, "I can't hold on, but it's so loud." And I turn to my friend and I yell over top of the like noise just as it goes silent. I go, "I hope he's all right." And everybody in the theater laughed. And I've been chasing that high ever since.
Nice.
And that's my Twister story.
Yeah. That checks out.
I forgot to send Phenom a picture to put up, but this whole time they're dialoguing. There's a very unfortunate folded towel beside Six. I don't know if you saw
I noticed that.
It was
actually
very pink and very
Yeah.
folded in like what seemed like a very
It did-
deliberate way, and it was in the very center of the screen. And
Yeah.
you know,
That stood out to me, too.
some props person put that there on purpose because it was dead
Yeah.
center, folded very specifically, and I lost track of what else was going on. Somebody got fired that day for putting that
Yeah.
on set. It was very distracting, very jarring. And yeah, Anthony has
Well
a
done.
serious moment now where most of his friends are dead, and that's why he became a paramedic. And anytime he saves a junkie, he feels good about himself. Which I feel like if
Yeah.
you're a paramedic and you didn't used to be a junkie, you would probably still feel good about yourself saving people's lives. But what do I know? There's a certain kind of sax transition here, Sal.
Yeah, it's just some killer sax, bro. They've always got killer sax on this show.
And Nick goes to see Blossom in her room, and she's sitting like her mom sits at the window.
Yeah, she's
Right?
sitting in the windowsill, which I was like, when she was doing that, I was like, has that always been there? I don't remember that.
And she asks nicely, she's like, "Can you explain this to me?" And Nick is like, "Well, it had been 3.5 hours since I've had sex."
Yeah, Nick comes in to apologize.
Nick's
for,
just nicking, man. That's like, what did she
he
expect?
comes in to try to apologize for traumatizing his daughter even further. And like, yeah, Blossom's fully being the voice of reason here of like, how stupid both of her parents are. I didn't get the ending of this scene here. I kind of stopped taking notes. I was just kind of over it.
That's fair. Blossom goes, "Well, hey, that's fine. I walked in on you and your ex-wife, my mom, having sex in the kitchen. Like, just a heads up, you might walk in on Vinny and me sometime."
Right.
And he goes, "I better not." And she goes, "Oh, okay. So just keeping score here. You're not in favor of sex before marriage, but you're a huge fan of sex after divorce." And I said, "No, little brother. Nick's just a fan of sex." It doesn't go past that. He's not.
Yeah.
There's no sort of boundaries
there's
or
no
morality.
extra
It's just
thinking on that. That's just his one-track mind.
suddenly Nick wants what Nick wants, and there's no stopping it. Doesn't matter if it's Arlene McCafferty. It doesn't matter if it's his ex-wife. It doesn't matter if it's Vinny's popcorn. It's gonna happen in the Russo house. Okay, there's no stopping this man when it's like. That's what we've
Very
learned.
true. Very true.
He hits her with a "You're not old enough to understand," and she goes, "I'm old enough to make you a grandfather." And damn,
Yeah.
Blossom was great this episode. Again, just like the
Heavy,
voice of reason through this
heavy.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And here comes Nick with some relationship talk, and then again she kind of alludes to her and Vinny of having had sex, which they just keep riding that line. I don't know. I feel like that would have been a major Like, they're doing this on purpose, obviously,
I think so.
but
I think so.
maybe they did not want to actually pull that trigger and have an episode about it because it's still kind of
That makes sense. Yeah,
based on
I
teenage
kind of
girls.
right. I'm kind of okay with the way that they're doing it.
Yeah, I was
Where she
against it, but this one
Yeah.
kind of they found the line.
Yeah, I think so. She
Um,
glossed over it with 6 before, and now she's kind of alluding to it to her own father, but like never coming out right and saying it, which is fine by me.
Then she has a heart-to-heart with Anthony to kind of end the show.
Yeah, and then he's like telling Blossom about all the places in their house that their parents have banged,
Why?
and that I don't know. And then they're like, there's the they had the conversation of like, we only like to think that they've had sex 3 times to have each
Three
of
kids.
us.
Yeah.
And then Blossom says, I like to think that they've only had sex twice, and Joey's an evil spawn from outer space. And then, as if like right on cue, Joey trips in the back door, and I don't know if that was on purpose or not. He fully falls to the floor, and he's asking for the Bible. And then he says that he's like got news, and they're arguing about whose news is bigger. And this part made me laugh so hard. I don't know if you have anything before that.
Yeah, let me get caught up. I got lots, actually.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
We learn Anthony got high and worried about Nazis. And I said, is this 1993 or 2025?
Yeah.
And then Anthony...
he did play one previously, too.
And then this is the part, I can't believe you didn't track this, Sal. Oh, my God. Okay? She tells Anthony that she walked in on them having sex in the kitchen. And Anthony says... At least they were just having sex. At least, quote, at least you didn't walk in on them hitting each other.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
We just keep going? Was Nick hitting Maddie? Or Maddie hitting Nick? Either way, that's pretty dark.
Yeah, that's
dark implications,
not a line
my friend.
to gloss over or, include in the show at all.
Yeah, like, so they hit each other?
So.
That was my like record scratch moment. I'm like, oh, okay, that's all right. Yeah, then we're just gonna keep going. Blossom asks, "Where do parents get off acting like people?" And I said, "Well, apparently the kitchen floor."
Nice.
Thank you. And then Joey Kramer's in the back door.
Yeah.
I got bigger news.
Yeah, so she's like, "Mom's back in LA. She might be moving here, Joey." Who cares? I saw God. Part made me laugh.
Yeah.
And then Tony's like, "You had sex tonight, didn't you?" No, I didn't have sex. And then, this is like the end of the episode here. Yeah,
it just ends.
Joey walks out saying he's going to be rich and have sex with lots of beautiful women, and then the show ends with Tony and Blossom looking back at each other, just saying aliens. And that's the end of the episode. I was like, wow, they didn't wrap up the mother. They didn't wrap up like a lot of stuff in this one. It was kind of an abrupt ending, to be honest.
This whole show was abrupt.
Right.
Between the editing and just the weird pairings.
Yeah.
It was something.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Let's do it. What time is it, Phenom?
It's time for
Whoa!
or no.
I'm giving it a whoa.
Whoa! Okay.
Yeah, I'm giving it a whoa. I enjoyed the pairings. Anthony and Six hanging out is really fun to think about. Joey and Vinny hanging out. Again, they played to the strength of Vinny because he's like the sister's boyfriend, but at the same time, he's supposed to kind of be from the wrong side of town. He's kind of be rougher, and it worked in this because Joey's like, well, I'll never see, because wasn't that the thing we never talked about? They wanted to see the fight, and Vinny was kind of like, I can pirate.
No, that's next episode.
Is that oh, okay. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Because there's the moment in the next episode where I thought they found the character perfectly for Vinny.
Yeah.
And that is apparently next week. I thought maybe we just didn't talk about it here.
No, that's next week's episode.
But they're finding their footing with Vinny. They're finding their footing with Nick. And Blossom had some heavy dialogue. It was good. It was definitely a whoa for me.
Okay. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm giving this a no.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I've leaned a lot towards whoa lately with these episodes. but I feel like this one just didn't really do anything for me. I thought it was kind of sloppy. Things weren't wrapped up. I mean, obviously, I feel like maybe now they're really focusing more on continuity, which was something that was kind of all over the place, especially in season 3. So I don't like this is probably setting up future storylines for later, but overall, I thought it was kind of
we also have
middle of the
no
road
reason to
episode.
believe they're setting up storylines for later, judging by the 3rd season. So
well, exactly, but
I'm more grading on a curve, to be honest. Like
okay.
80% of season 3 would have been no's for me.
Yeah.
So
good thing we didn't have this segment yet.
Yes, I'm not ending these episodes like angry that we're doing this Blossom review like I did multiple times last season. So
okay, that's fair.
Yep,
that's fair.
Still going with the whoa.
All right, well, why don't you bring us to our lesson of the week?
I really don't have a lesson. I don't know what I was supposed to take away from this show. What are we trying to tell the kids? Like, your parents still might hook up after they're divorced, and they brought back the theme of how Blossom was mad because she spent so much of her young life praying that they would get back together. And Nick was like, we're not back together. Like, we're just banging on the kitchen floor. And I didn't, I didn't know who was projecting and what they were projecting in this. Throwing in the weird edits and the odd pairing. I had no idea what I was supposed to take away from this.
I think the best line and takeaway from that was when Blossom said that parents are human.
I guess.
That's kind of that would be my takeaway lesson, I guess. You know what I mean?
Parents are human. Thank you for jumping in and saving that. I really had nothing, and I did put some thought into it. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel after this episode because there was those weird pairings, and then it just got heavy, and it got heavy, and there was so much weird one-off heaviness in this episode that I don't know, and then the weird cameo, which we will get into now.
Okay, well, first of all, not the Pit. Phillis Diller as Mrs. Peterson.
That's a recurring character.
She comes back 3 more times.
Oh my god.
Phillis Diller is a name that I have heard.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you anything about Phillis Diller, but I know she was huge in the 80s, right?
I mean, even going back before that, and she had a long career, and she did a lot of like what I would have seen her in. She did a lot of like one-off cameos on different sitcoms throughout the 90s, I guess, in her later part of her career. But she goes back quite a bit as like a comedian. So yeah, they have her coming back 3 more times as Mrs. Peterson.
Yay.
We got the Pit, Don Novello as Father Guido Sarducci as God. And yeah, as I said, I don't understand what this character was and why in this like short time frame he was just everywhere. And I wouldn't even say he was super popular like a Mr. T, but I remember seeing him around, and he played this character on so many things.
He must have just been like a New York regular.
Yeah, I assume so. But we got a Father Guido Sarducci cameo on Blossom. And he is now officially in the Pit.
I won't miss him.
No.
It was very forced.
It was. Yeah, it didn't really work. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's all we got. Or that's all I've got, at least. What do we think, Phenom?
Are we done? We're ready for the next
one?
one?
I think so. I still like the episode, even though there wasn't a ton to talk about.
Right.
Unless we want to talk about the fact that Nick and his wife apparently hit each other. And Anthony watched it. And it's Anthony's fault. He started doing drugs, I guess, watching his parents punch each other.
That might drive me to that, too. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Depressing as hell. What do we got next week?
We're not live.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. What do we got next week, Phenom?
Next week, we got Season 4, Episode 7, 6 and Sunny.
Don't know